Thank you so much for joining us on The Last Word tonight. My name is Sophia Wanuna. Today we focus on some of the goings-on we've witnessed from the University of Nairobi. We saw those violent protests on Saturday, and with me in studio to talk about that is the newly re-elected chair of the students' body. That's Sonu Babu Owino is with me, and another Owino who is the spokesperson of the police in Kenya, Charles Owino. But of course, we'll get started with one of the things we had the Nakada chairman talk about recently, because we'll talk about the violence later and the protest and what led to the same. But he talked about a gang that is now in the university, about 20 members or so, and drugs is at the center of what they do. Let's listen to what John Mutudo had to say, and then we'll interact here in studio. Remember, throughout the show, we'll have our phone numbers running on the bottom end of your screen. You can call in, talk to us, be part of the conversation tonight.
I want to confirm the following. One, that there exists a gang of 20 goons, 20 Ishilini, all of them well known, their numbers known, their hideouts known, who reside in specific places within University of Nairobi. And I have personally been to Hall 9 and received reports from the students on the same. It is a failure by the police, particularly their neighbor, OCPD, Central Police Station, not to act, that is leading to this. Nobody is above the law. It is very, very sad.
All right, John Mutudo there talking about those gangs. He says about 20 of them in this one gang that are well known and that they reside in the University of Nairobi. So I'll begin with the first Owino. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us tonight. I appreciate your time. Babu, this gang he's talking about, 20 people, says they're well known, they're involved in drugs. Do you know about this?
Actually, I'm so disappointed for a person like Mutudo to make such statements, because in his position, when he comes out and consumes rumors from rumor mills, and we know very well that hearsay evidence is not admissible in a court of law. Mutudo should name these people that he said that he knows them. He should name the 20 people, but just talking because you're talking to the media for the sake of talking that there's a gang that I'm not also aware of, then it's so disappointing.
But why are you so quick to dismiss it and talk about rumors? If it's something you don't know about, isn't there potential truth in what he's saying?
Because I've been at the University of Nairobi long enough, and at least I would have heard about this issue of these gangs who are dealing with drugs in the university. And if he was sure about it, I think he would have named some people who are involved in peddling of drugs in online.
All right. Spokesperson, we saw the statement that was released earlier by the Inspector General of Police, because one of the things the Nakada chair also talked about is complicity of police officers in protecting these members of the gangs. Talk to us about what the allegations.
First of all, I'm disappointed that the Honorable Chair of Nakada is not here with us, because
and we had invited him. Let me make that clear. We had extended an invitation to him.
That is what I had expected. We have a lot of respect for him, for his campaign. But I think in this particular matter he has seriously goofed. One, he's the chair of Nakada. And being the chair of Nakada, it is expected of him that this is a role that he undertakes on daily basis, especially on campaign against drugs and illicit brews. And it's disappointing to note that he's claiming that he knows the people, he knows where they are. He even claims he knows the hall and he has visited the hall. My question is, how come he has not passed this report to us? Because we work together with various government departments, especially on matters affecting the general society. Drug issue, illicit brew issue are very they're very serious issues that are not taken for granted. So I think Honorable Mutudo has shown that he's not taking his work seriously. Because if he were taking his work seriously, I'm sure either through writing or coming to us and giving us this information and we act, as we don't have a problem.
But when he says there are police involved, so maybe his concern is report to the same people who are complicit?
You know, policemen take individual responsibilities. We don't take common responsibility. For example, if I commit an offense, then I take responsibility of the offense I've committed. I've had him mention the OCPD of Central Police Station that covers University of Nairobi. But you know, University of Nairobi is wide. Kabete has a different division. It's under, I think, Gigiri, and Kikuyu has also a different division. But what I'm saying is that Honorable Mututho would have been honorable enough if he feels that he cannot go to those individual police officers. Then we have the Inspector General's office. We have the Internal Affairs Office. We have the Criminal Investigations Department. And the Criminal Investigations Department has a special unit for narcotics and drugs that deals with this. For your information, we undertake a lot of work, especially when it comes to narcotic drugs. I would give you, for example, last year alone, when it comes to, we arrested 133 people handling heroin. We arrested about 5 cases of cocaine, about 634 cases of cannabis sativa, and so on and so forth, and about 23 different nationals that we have arrested. So what we are saying is, as police, we don't want to refute claims, but what we are saying is that there must be responsibility. You must behave responsible when you are putting up claims, because after all, you know, we are not going to get police from Tanzania or Rwanda. We have still to get Kenya police, yes.
All right, so Babu, we know you're saying you're not aware of that. However, the Vice Chancellor at the university talked about the same issue. Let's listen to what Professor Peter Mbidi had to say about the same drugs issue, admitting that in fact at the university they have been working with NACADA on the same.
There are incidences of drug abuse and peddling in the university, which has been reported to the police from time to time. And last year, I and John Mututho actually launched the program for the University of Nairobi drug and alcohol abuse. And we did actually give figures of what has been reported about the university. And that policy and program was made to deal with exactly that. We live in Nairobi. We are right in the CBD. And quite often we are infiltrated by all kinds of crime. And therefore we are watching that. And that's why I'm saying we are committed to root these vices together with other partners. Like, for example, we said NACADA.
On occasion, we'll talk to you about that. But there is your Vice Chancellor saying this is happening. And as the student leader, and you claim to know everything that happens in the institution, don't know about this.
No, actually, the issue of drugs, University of Nairobi is part of the wider society. We can't say that it's an institution where people are expected to behave in a particular way. It's just like the normal society. But the gangs that they're talking about, because when the Vice Chancellor is talking, you noted that he didn't talk about the issue of gangs peddling drugs in the university. But he said that the issue of drug and substance abuse, which is normal even in the wider society. People can decide to consume alcohol, but to what extent? That is what is important. Now, this kind of drugs that people are also consuming, are they legal or illegal kind of drugs? So by the end of the day, I stand firm with my issue that I don't know about the gangs in University of Nairobi peddling drugs.
Okay.
But people could be consuming alcohol. People could be consuming these legit kinds of drugs and other substances.
All right. Spokesperson, are we aware of reports? Because he's saying that they have been reporting time and again.
Practically, even in our own houses, you could be having a child that smokes bang or takes heroin. That does not mean that the father and the mother runs a notorious gang in their house that sells drugs.
Yeah.
What we are saying is that yes, it's a large community. We may have cases 1 or 2 of students, particular students who may have drugs. But when it comes to someone saying that 20 notorious students operating in a particular hall and saying that they are protected, they enjoy protection of senior police officers, I think that is a bit outrageous.
Okay.
We are not here to defend maybe what happens between one or two individuals here and there. We have a responsibility when a report is brought to us that a particular person is involved in trafficking. Definitely we arrest and charge the persons concerned.
All right.
But the image that the Honorable Chair for Nakada was trying to give is, I think it's more of a popular notion that he was coming up with instead of a practical thing. Because at the end of the day, it would come up very bad on him, especially on his image, that he's aware of those kind of gangs and he has not shared the same to anyone. If he's aware and he has evidence, we are ready that that can be shared amongst us. And also, if there would be any officer that is involved in protecting an individual student or a group of students, then we would also be interested to know so that we would take action against these people. But I think this kind of statement is a reckless accusation in the media, and it's not fair for the general good of the community.
All right. And
Yes.
as we said, we had extended an invitation to the Nakada chair. He did not show up despite having said he would. Hopefully we'll get him on the line and we'll continue the conversation that point on drugs on campus. But we want to change that idea and move on to what was violence that was witnessed on Saturday. And those are some of the pictures you're seeing on the split screen there. And let's begin with you, Babu. Talk to us about what exactly happened. So students are voting. You were elected, re-elected chair of SONU. Then what?
Now, we had our elections on Friday. They were very peaceful. There were no incidences of violence reported anywhere. Then on Saturday, there was a demonstration. University of Nairobi has 11 constituent colleges. We have main campus, we have Kikuyu campus, we have Kenya Science, we have Lower Kabete, Upper Kabete, Kisumu, Mombasa campus, College of Health Sciences, we have Chiromo, we have College of Architecture and Engineering, and the 11 in total. By the end of the day, and we have Parklands, by the end of the day, all students are 84,000 students in number. They're supposed to be electing their leaders every electioneering year. When we went for the elections, I remember as a chairman of SONU, I garnered around 18,000 votes compared to the second person who got 3,000 votes. That shows that I lost in main campus though, and I won in all the other 10 campuses. Now, every other person, when there are elections, people get aggrieved. People have their supporters. It is normal. These are experiences that we even see in the national politics. When some people lose, when they lose, they go on the streets. Some people lose, they cry in their houses. These students chose to mourn in the streets and express their grievances in the streets, which was not the right way, because University of Nairobi, we have a petition panel. Election was being conducted by an independent body, an electoral body, which constitutes both the university staffs as staff commissioners and the student commissioners. So I think the elections were free and fair. It's only that the way our opponents handled it was out of the way, just to portray that Babu Owino did not win elections. They were saying, some were saying, because if we are 84,000 students, the students who are rioting, as you can see in the screen, there are less than 200 students. It's not even 1% of the total population of the University of Nairobi students. I think the person who was leading them went overboard, because that person was number 4. Being number 4 with 2,000 votes, I have 18,000 votes, even if it was rigging. Which kind of rigging is that? So I think there are also other people who are involved in this, because it is not just an issue of University of Nairobi alone. I declared my candidature for Embakasi East. You see, all these were, the person who started propagating all this in social media was Robert Alai. Robert Alai is vying in Embakasi East as MP also. There's another person who is also called George Buto. This George Buto is alleged to have been meeting one of my opponents, who was number 4, Mike Jacobs, talking to him because he probably wanted to create 2 centers of power so that he could also controls part of the University of Nairobi, because the students promised that come next year, 2017 elections,